So this is a session for the evening when we don't want to get too excited. We don't want to get the system pounding with adrenaline. We simply want to soothe the system down so that we can go to sleep and sleep well. So no sun salutations, no vigorous standing poses, no getting out of breath too much. It's all about calming, soothing, cooling, softening, all those sorts of things. So I'm teaching this about 20 to 9 in the evening. And because I'm jet lagged, I really want to help me sleep because I'm actually running 5 hours behind on my biological clock and it thinks it's about 4 o'clock. Is that right? In the afternoon. So just to start, let's breathe in. Breathe out. Now let's make that deeper, okay? So breathing in. And breathe out. Nice and long and slow. And then the last one, breathing in. Pause and breathe out. Lovely. And then let's just be aware of what the mind is doing. Looking into the mind and our thoughts. And sometimes at the beginning when we look at the mind, it's like a rabbit caught in the headlights. The mind goes, oh, nothing happening here. So we just hang around for a bit because after a while, the mind gets bored and starts to think. And then we find out what we're thinking. And you'll feel those thoughts begin to creep in, begin to get a sense of them. And let's meet them with kindness, with acceptance, with gentleness. Okay. Interestingly, most of our thoughts are regurgitated. About 80% of the thoughts that we think each day we've thought before. We're simply going around in various loops. And even be kind to ourselves about that. And then let's check in how we're doing emotionally in this moment. And because we're about to do some more yoga, we might be feeling excitement, anticipation. We might be feeling dread. Okay. But however we're feeling, those feelings are there for a reason. And again, let's see if we can meet them with tenderness and gentleness. Okay, even when they're difficult. And then let's just scan the body. How is the body doing? You can scan from the toes all the way up to the head, or you can simply be in the body and see where the body's trying to communicate to you. So it's usually saying, hey, this elbow is hurting, but you're not noticing, or my jaw is feeling a bit jammed up, but you're not taking much attention. So let's see, how is the body in this moment? You can do this sitting on a chair or lying down. Basically the 3-minute check-in, but we're doing it a bit longer. And then let's just be aware of the breath for a moment. This breath, the pause and the out breath. The nice thing about the breath is it's very much in the present moment. This breath here now, and this out breath. See where you can notice where you're breathing. Is it in the chest or the belly, the nose, back of the throat? And then let's bring all that awareness, the mind, the emotions, the body, the breath, all of those present together here, where we're sitting or lying, in this room, in this place, in this country. This is how we are in this moment. And I'd like you to just meet yourself, one hand meeting the other, and a sense of, I'm here for you, I care about you, I'll do what I can to help, to assist and to support you, so that we cultivate this inner best friend, that way we're never alone. Okay? And then releasing out from that, and because we're preparing for bed, this is yoga at the end of the day, really don't want to do anything too sudden. So what I'd like you to do is to comfortably lie down. You can even lie down in bed, okay? And then just making sure that your neck doesn't crinkle up at the back. So it's best to have something just underneath the head, so that back of the neck is nice and long. A sense of having that spinal column right from the skull all the way down, comfortable and not scrunched up at all if you can help it. And we're just pausing there for a moment. And I don't know about you, but my shoulders keep riding up towards my ears. So I remind myself to bring them away from the head and bring the chin towards the chest. I'm just breathing into that, okay? Nice gentle breaths. And if you feel that all the weight and struggle and strain of the day is still with you, we can do the shaky, shaky baby pose, where you just throw it, 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 throw it all the way, throw it, let it go, dissipate, out, away. Imagine it going up into the sky, and it's nighttime up into the starry sky, and away. Shaky, 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 shaky. And if it provokes giggles, even better, shaky, shaky, shake, shaky, shake, shaky, shake, shaky, shaky, shake. Okay, good. And then bring the knees up towards you. And probably because you're practicing alone, it doesn't matter, this is a gas ejecting pose. Pushing the knees into the abdominal area, eyes pressing against that abdominal area. Okay, and then toes towards you and away from you, like so. That's it. Nice and steady. And keep pulling, use your forearm strength to bring those thighs closer into the belly, more pressure as you flex and point the foot. And then hands onto the knees, and let's do the circles, because that's just so good for tummy. And you've probably had dinner a while ago. You know, technically we shouldn't eat a heavy meal 2 hours before yoga, at least, if not 3. And we shouldn't do yoga at least an hour or 2 after a heavy meal. Sometimes you can get away with it, especially if you're not doing really heavy work or abdominal work. Okay, so we're doing circles both ways, clockwise and anti-clockwise. And then I'd like you to press the hands behind the head and just do some very gentle heel slides, just an inch off the floor. Okay. Relax the shoulders, relax the face. This is where you're probably thinking, what was that bit about soothing, calming down? I think Sarah's got a bit carried away. Yeah, maybe I have, maybe we stop those. Bring the feet down to the floor and just do very, very gentle twists, looking the opposite way by taking the knees to the right, looking to the left. Breathe in, bring the knees up, knees to the left, look to the right. Breathe in, bring the knees up. So if we get it nice and steady with a slow breathing rhythm, it's very meditative. And it's not in any way kind of boosting the system into adrenaline, which is exactly what we don't want at the end of the day. Sorry, I've said that too many times already. Then I'd like you to just straighten out the legs. And at the end of the day, it's really nice for those poor feet of yours to actually get a bit of a rest. So you can bring the toes towards you and then point them. Toes towards you, point. Toes towards you, point. Toes towards you, point. Okay, and then just relax the feet for a moment and gently encourage the legs a little bit more towards you. If you want to, you can generously bend the knees. Remember, the principal thing is just being kind to you. So here we are, allowing the blood in the legs to come back, mostly with gravity down the legs. It means that the bit that normally has to pump them back up against gravity, they're having a bit of a rest. Okay, they can replenish a bit. And if you look at the tops of your feet, you normally have veins in your feet. They begin to vanish as the blood falls more down. And it's the same with the hands. If you raise them up in the air and look at the backs of them, it's quite amazing how the blue veins that usually are quite thick and bulging at my age begin to disappear as the blood drains down out of the arm. So if you want your hands, back of your hands to look really young, just hold them up in the air all the time. Okay. And then what shall we do from there? I'd like you to go out into an unusual starfish. So we're just pretending to be a starfish with our feet and hands about 1.5 foot, 1.5 to 2 feet off the ground. Okay, but relax the head onto the ground, chin to chest. Lovely. Great. And then bring the feet up again and see if you're anywhere near touching onto your shins or ankles or toes or behind the knees. And it doesn't matter how you're doing it, you're doing it. You're doing some of it that works for you. Okay, because it's really easy to get disillusioned. And then let's do the ankle rotations. In my video yesterday, I called my ankles my wrists. Then I also called a cup of tea. I think it was a cup of yoga, which is a little bit disconcerting. Mind you, I could blame it on jet lag still. Okay, so we're doing clockwise and anti-clockwise ankle rotations. And when you go to bed tonight, please do put lots of moisturizer on your feet and on your hands and on your face and legs and arms if you want to, but you know, really reassuring the body. The skin is our biggest organ, and we really need to keep it okay and moisturize it. Lovely. And then I'd like you to just allow the feet to come down, and we'll do the gentle bridge lifts, but we're doing this very gentle. So remember that with the pelvis, if you can just tilt it away first of all, I'm tilting it that way, tailbone underneath me, pushing here away, and then tilting it towards me and away from me and towards me and away from me and towards me. Can you see? Away from me. So little gentle pelvic tilts. Okay. And then breathing in, take the arms up Tuck the chin in and lift the pelvis up with even weight through the feet. It tends to go to the heel of the foot, but try to do even weight. And then on the out breath, one vertebra at a time goes down onto the ground as you bring the hands down, palms downwards, chin to chest, tilt the pelvis away. Push through all of the sole of the foot. Breathing in, coming up. Lift, no breath. Breathe out, come down. So now you've got the hang of this and it's nice and slow and steady. Nice and slow and steady. Follow your own breath. In breath, I do it coming up. And I come down on the out breath. But if you want to do it the other way around, that's great. It's probably the more traditional way to do it. Okay. The next time you reach down, we're going to go up again, but we're going to hang around up there. So going up, chin to chest, tighten the buttock muscles, lift, breathe, steady. Push a little through the ball of the feet because it's probably all going onto the heels. Nice, steady breathing. And then breathing out, coming down, and bring the soles of the feet together so that we're lying down in lying down cobbler. So look, the soles of the feet coming together and the heels coming up close to the torso. Hands, you've got choices. You can put hands onto the thighs, onto the belly, or yeah, clasp behind the head. That's a favourite of mine. Close the eyes for a moment and just breathe into that. Nothing to do. Check the chin is to the chest a little if you think the neck scrunching up a bit at the back. And then if you want, you can do butterfly in this pose, but do take it gently so that you don't hurt in anywhere in the groin area or the inner thigh, those adductor muscles going on in the inner thigh. But it's really nice for your hip joint to move a little like that. And then straighten out your left leg and take it out offline to about, let's see, 12 o'clock was my forehead, 6 o'clock was straight between my feet. We're going, I'm confusing myself now, we're going about, put that left foot at about 5 o'clock, I think. Anyway, it's out a bit off center. And then this right leg, I'd like you to do the big hip swirls, circles. Okay, you might hear your hip joint clunk a bit like that. You don't have to rush it. All we're trying to do, send a very strong signal to the brain, to the part that goes, oh, they're using that hip like properly, they're really using it. Let's send it more synovial fluid into that joint to keep it nice and lubricated. Now let's go the other way with that right leg. So whichever way you were just doing, you're now doing the other way. Okay, it's a little bit exerting, isn't it? Okay, we'll do one more circle and then we'll pause. There we go. And let's just take both legs down at 2 to 3 feet apart on the feet. Pause, do nothing, chin to chest. You'll probably feel how that right hip joint where the femur goes into the socket, you might even feel how the blood supply is increased around there, which means the cells of tendons and ligaments and muscles, soft tissue, all of them being replenished. Super duper. And then we do the same with the left leg. So probably going to hit my light, but hey. So big circles, starting one way. And I do 5 or 6 circles going one way, and then 5 or 6 circles going the other way. Let's tend to where it clicks. There, that's where it clicks. Okay, and then just paddle the feet a little up and down, chin to chest. Lovely. And then reach through, see if you can bring the feet a bit together. Okay, and a bit up. If that's beyond you, hang on to your trousers somewhere and just see if you can bring them a little bit closer with the knees out. Okay. And then let's do one of my favorites, the stuffed turkey, where you're bringing the knees down into the armpits a bit. And you can have the hands on the insides of the feet. So I've done about 20 minutes. Begin to quieten down even further. Just point the legs out, so in wide scissors. So they're wide, look, 1 foot way over there. As wide as I comfortably feel that I'm holding behind the thighs, and I'm not worrying about being too tight on the knees or straight. Chin to chest though, I am taking care of the back of the neck. Okay, and then see if you can just swing a little from side to side. Gently though, nothing too ambitious. It's a nice rocking motion like the hull of a boat at sea, rocking away with the waves. Lovely. And then again, bring the legs together, straight up, point the toes, if you can. Bring them a little bit over the head if you want. Breathe into it. Relax the shoulders. Lovely. And then breathing out, bend the knees, bring the feet down. And I just want you to roll over into the very comfortable fetal position. One of my favorite yoga poses. It's like we're curling up to go to sleep. I once did a week-long retreat, and we ended up, for some reason, well, not all of us, about 6 or 8 of us, on our way back home, we all decided to stay at a monastery I knew about, and we shared a dorm. So we all got into our various beds, and I did a relaxation. Nobody fell asleep at the end of it. It was really nice. Because it's such a shame in a class when you do a relaxation and then everybody has to eventually get up and put their shoes and coats on and go and drive home or whatever. Anyway, we're just relaxing. It's a lovely pose. And then just straighten out the legs a little. Okay. And don't worry, we're not going to do too much, just going to do a little tiny bit of work. So coming up onto your elbow. So I'm leaning, the weight's on my left side, put my left elbow underneath my left shoulder. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my right leg up. And I'm not going to turn it like that. Can you see? If the seam of, if I had stockings on, there was a seam at the back, that would be facing the floor. No, I'm going to have it that way on. So the seam is facing behind me. Okay, if that makes sense. So look at my foot, it's sort of pointing towards camera, and then we go down, right? So this is about as strenuous as it gets. Can you see my foot keeps wanting to turn, but I want to work into here and go into this pose and stay there for a moment. Comfortably looking forward. And you'll feel a little bit of heat probably around here. It's not a part of the body we work much. And then if you like, you can do a little bit of bouncing. And then I can almost hear you thinking, Sarah, too much. Go back to the soothing and quietening and calming down bits. Okay, just come down a little and a little bit more bouncing, but a few inches off the floor. Lovely. We're a few minutes away now from stopping the whole thing. So let's just do the other side, going on to my right side. Right elbow on the ground, underneath my right shoulder. Okay. Straighten out the legs. Take the left leg up. Okay. And just lift up and hold using muscles around here to lift. And again, careful you don't turn the foot up to the ceiling. Okay. If you find you can't do this and you're turning the foot up to the ceiling, don't panic. It's another yoga pose. Give yourself a gold star. Okay. But at the moment, I'm doing this one with my foot facing the front. And then do the little bounces, which, oh my goodness, do they work in just there? Don't they just back here? Goodness me. Okay. Oh. Breathe, 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 breathe. And then down a few inches off the floor and a few more bounces. Lovely. And then back into the lying down Cleopatra pose. Another one of my favorites. I like all the lying down poses, crocodile, corpse pose, anything like that. Like face down corpse pose, reclining poses. Okay. And then if there was any soreness there, you could just rub along the thigh or the hip. And then as we finish, you make yourself comfy. You have socks. Do get some socks, but you're reclining in the fetal position. Okay, and if you're in bed, you're already in your pajamas. Breathe in, breathe out, snug as a bug. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And we were working the body, so you will feel it pulsing, but as we do this relaxation, it will begin to beautifully quieten down and be very, very glad to have stopped. So the breathing now will probably sort itself out. It'll get gentler and quieter. And I'm going to set you a little bit of homework. Why not? Though if you don't like the word homework and it brings up horrible memories of school, we could call it a bit of home practice. And it's just, I'd like you to think of a really lovely place that will be your safe place, a visualization. And it could be, for example, in a beautiful forest glade with the sun coming through the leaves, maybe a stream burbling nearby, birds tweeting. Or it could be a beautiful mountaintop where you're perfectly sheltered because you can visualize what you like, but you can see massive views and it's stunning. Feels like the top of the world. Could be a lovely beach where you're on the nicest sunbed and you can hear the waves lapping up on the sand. temperature is perfect. The sky is blue. So I think you get the gist of it. You imagine your perfect place. I've just given you by accident three of my favorites. And maybe you have a certain place that you do go to. So, well, let's go and rest in our perfect place, our happy place, for a moment. And we have nothing to do except be. And if you find the mind wandering off, which it tends to do, don't tell it off. It gets most uptight if we tell it off. Just see if you can engage it maybe with thinking about what sounds would be here. What smells? What does it feel like on your skin? Is there a taste in the air? How warm or cold is it? And usually the mind will happily alight on these various thoughts and creations, thinking about colours and sights and sounds and smells, keeping us here in this present moment happy place. And then if you've drifted off to sleep already, sweet dreams. And for those of you who are feeling like very near drifting off, don't worry about moving. Stay exactly where you are and just enjoy. Like you're melting and letting go. And then for us poor souls, like me, who needs to stop the recording, we'll just slowly move. But no sudden movements. So we don't wake up the rest of you who are snoozing away. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you.